If you've been here with my channel for a while, you'll know about a year ago I made a Danganronpa training video. It's not meant to be taken seriously, of course, but the foundation of a thought was created with the publishing of that video. Danganronpa, much like other survival-oriented works of entertainment, have loopholes or in some way can be beaten if the proper steps are taken. Now, of course, just because you're one of 16 people chosen by God or by the production crew to be in Danganronpa does not automatically mean you're going to survive. Like, you can't just waltz in and the crew's gonna be like, okay, yep, they're the one, they're gonna live. If you want to survive, you have to prove it. Prove yourself innocent, prove you have the resources, prove you have the will, and prove, above all else, you know how to process information. Let's split this guide up into two categories, alright? The genocide route, aka the one where you kill someone, and the pacifist route, where you don't. Being in the prologue of Danganronpa is simple enough. You would meet your other participants, discuss your ultimates, and plot out your escape. Just kidding. But the prologue is one of the most critical parts of your survival probabilities increasing. If the rest of the cast does not like you, they're automatically going to find you suspicious or have a distrusting and disliking feeling towards you. Much like with what happened of Angie of Danganronpa 53. In the cast and the player's eyes, she was seen as this weird cultist girl who wanted control over everyone else. Although, part of that was because of the writer's fault, but that's a topic for another day. Unfortunately, her projection to her true identity was not made apparent until almost after half of the cast had already died. What I'm trying to say here is, don't let yourself be seen as weird or controlling, because A, people aren't going to want anything to do with you, and B, you could be a prime target for being killed off. And dying in the first or second chapter, that would be so worthless, wouldn't it? But how should you go about your day-to-day routine? Me personally, I just stay in my room or something. Lock the door and you're good. Blockade it as well. But that's probably going to get boring after like a day or two. So maybe don't do that. Let's say 2 to 4 people are dead after chapter 2 ends. Congratulations, you're now 25% more likely to survive, right? Wrong. Chapters 1 and 2 of Danganronpa are usually parts where the cast doesn't understand the big picture of the killing game quite yet. So coming off as knowing more than you let on is an absolute death sentence. Although if you somehow are the mastermind, you should have already been doing that. Don't say anything unnecessary. Legit. In fact, 5 of the 14 blackened in Danganronpa 1 to V3 could have just shut up and they would have won. 2 out of 14 just straight up admitted to it without any hesitation. Going the route of not speaking may be your best legitimate option for your survival if you decide to kill. Remember, you just need to pin the crime that you did on one person. And if that happens, you've done it. Good job. I mean, that's kinda sad, but let's keep it sad. It's safe to say that you aren't getting out of here anytime soon. The same rules really do apply as they did in the prologue. One tip I would suggest for you as you get into the later chapters is to keep your eyes peeled for certain events that Monokuma may dispense. Avoid them at all costs. Look at them, but just don't do them, and remember who partakes in them. This ties back to the remembering things as a method of proving yourself innocent. If you happen to not be the main character, side with the person who always takes charge in the debates. You can figure out who they are by focusing on who is the one person who always accuses people at the end of the trial. Boom. The cast is probably half gone at this point, and you probably have some kind of chance to win. But you haven't done the job yet, right? You know what I'm talking about. But hey, here's some good news for you. If you want to nay-nay someone, you should do it in Chapter 4. Reason being is because Chapter 3 always has a canny ability to have 2 people killed. I wouldn't recommend finishing the job in Chapter 3. After all, you're going to have to leave more evidence behind, so don't do that. Wait it out until you can get into a more stable situation with the cast. I'd also say that you should build more trust with your peers only to take that away with you-know-what. Chapter 3 is an especially easy part to win. Just keep your eyes peeled and you're good. A supposed murder for the third case is going to fumble it somehow. You just need to piece everything together before something can be pinned on you. I also want to say this. If someone asks you to do something, don't do it. Additionally, 5 out of 14 murder cases in the entire series happened because the murderer had asked someone to do something for them. Unless Monokuma has a gun to your head, don't do anything asked of you. It's like how I do life.
Danganronpa.
I sincerely recommend not killing anyone here. You're already so close to winning the game, and to throw it all away and get caught in Chapter 5 would be so painful. But if you do decide to go through with it, you need to pin it on someone who has changed from who they once were. That's the key to success here. Think someone who is just important enough to not be considered the kid who doesn't have anything to add to the conversation, but not too important that the cast will protect him with their lives. Okay, you are so close to getting out of here. But will you though? There's absolutely no guarantee that as soon as this chapter ends, you're set free. If, say, there were just the murderer and 2 innocents, a majority vote would have to be forced in this case. But here, I just want you to imagine something. It may be a little weird, but just bear with me here. It's nearing the end of the killing game. Most of the cast is already dead. You're just left with the same scenario I just mentioned. Your crew is battered and traumatized after seeing their friends die over and over and over again. Morale is nearing rock bottom. Why even try? Should I jump ship to the genocide route and end it? It's a very real thought if you made it this far. Shuichi from Danganronpa V3 had this very thought into Chapter 5. You have to get this one right if the innocents want any chance at escaping. But even if they get it right, what does it get them? A 1v1? Who gets to go? Should it be the last man standing? Should 2 people be allowed to leave? Should someone be resurrected? Does Monokuma just get destroyed or something? Well, in Danganronpa V3, the rules said that either the lone Blackened would walk free after everyone else died, or 2 Spotless would walk. It's clear that the rules change, and they're gonna keep changing. Whatever happens, happens, man. It's not worth it at this point, man. Simply ride the wave to victory. You're almost there at this point. Unless you're the mastermind, in which case throw everything you've got left on the table. Can you dispose of the evidence in time? That's the true test of strength. Now, before you end up at the trial after waiting this long, just know that this is probably the end. You either go out in a blaze of glory or take everyone else with you. Some last minute tips I need to give you. Don't get in Monokuma's way. You're as dead as a doornail if you do that. I'd also recommend running a bunch of statistical data models to seed what your percentage of survival is when the various trials happen. Does it go up as you increase? I don't know, I can't code. But now that you've brushed up on my 100% legit no virus download how to survive Danganronpa tutorial, I hope that you won't be the first or second one dead, with absolutely no character development embedded. Because that would just be not poggers.
She persevered across the boardwalk. She keeps the sunset bright with movement in her eyes. She knows she gets away with murder. Swallows.